G'day guys. I thought I'd jump on and do a video today. This is the first Zoom recording that I've done, so I hope it works. But I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who came up to Kel and I during Freedom Fest and gave us encouragement about our videos. Several people have contacted me privately about how I put or how we put our videos together. And a lot of the training that we get through Gaz and through the Facebook groups, they always deal with Macs, but I don't deal with a Mac. I'm always been a PC person, so I was looking to get some free software. I had some video making software called Filmora Wondershare, which doesn't actually do what I need it to do. I actually paid for that. It cost me about $80, but there is actually some free software that I use to make the videos with a little time thingamy. I've got a brain freeze already. You'll know what I mean. You know, the red line that goes across and shows how much time you've got left to go in the video. So I wanted to just help everyone out in the team just to go through a step-by-step process using the software that I use for PC. So this is really going to help people with PCs. The Apple software that's free that people have been using is really good too. If you have a look at Mel Larkin's videos, I think she uses Apple software, and her videos look fantastic. But I'm going to use some software called VideoPad, which is by a company called NCH. If you just do a search for VideoPad, you'll find the free download very easily. You can buy this software, but for our purposes, you don't need to buy it. I did buy it, but then I discovered that I didn't need to anyway. So I'm just going to see if I can share the screen so you can watch me go through the process right from the start. All right, so let's just assume that you have done a video. You've taken the video and it's on your phone, and you've put your video onto your computer. So it's already on your hard drive on your computer. So now we're going to go into the editing process, and I will share the screen. Hopefully that works. Do we need to look at my face? I don't think my face is going to be in the road. So this is what the VideoPad icon looks like. So we just want to open up that software, and this is what you get. So this area here is where you're going to preview your video, and this is where you do all your editing down the bottom here. And over here is where you control all the different layers of your video, because if you keep in mind that layers is yep, I was just checking that I was recording. I had a moment of panic when I thought I wasn't recording. So if you think about a video, if you use Canva, you might be putting layers of pictures on top of other pictures and things like that. So you already know the principle of layers, but the principle of layers in video is working too. And the way I'm going to make a video is the way that we've been trained to do it through the guys from Gaz. And particularly the Takeover Tuesday videos. We've been getting a lot of training over the last couple of months on putting videos together, and back in December there was trainings on the actual size of the video that is perfect for Facebook. So with the aspect ratio, which is the size of the video frame and how that's all put together. So I'm going to set that up now. So the first thing that you do, the first layer you want to do is the background. So I've noticed that a lot of the guys, a lot of our leaders in Gaz are using just a simple white background, particularly Matthew Jang. His backgrounds are very simple, just white backgrounds. So the way to do that in this software, the first thing you want to do is you want to add blank. So you want to add a blank background. You can choose different colors there. So you can choose different colors, and I think you could probably choose pictures or things like that to put in the background to make it more pretty, but just for the purpose of this demonstration, we're just going to go with a plain white background. All right, so when you first when you first download this software, it's going to default to that landscape style video. If you see up here where it says blank clip, that is going to be the size it defaults to, but we want to change that. So if you go over here to options and see how it's 1920 by 1080, or 16:9, we want to change that. So we want to change it. I think I put a preset in there, have I? Yeah, I put a preset for 1 minute vids, but for the sake of the training, the size that they recommend is 1030 by 1350. So that is the perfect size that we want. And this is just a preview format. So when we go to export the video at the end, once we've completed making our video and we want to export it, we just want to make sure that we do this again at the export stage and double check that those settings are still the same, because sometimes it goes back to that 16:9 format. All right, so when we change it to that, you can save the preset like I've done. I've done a 1 minute video, and so that's already saved there. When you do that, it will show that layout there. All right, so what we want to do is we want to have the white background as the back layer, and so all we do is we click on the blank clip that we've put down there. See here, we've got video files, audio files, and images. So a blank background is images. So we just want to drag that down to video track 1. You can have as many tracks on there as you like. And just keep in mind that the length of time that it goes on there is 3 seconds. That's your default time, and I'll show you how to fix that in a moment. So now we've got our blank background. We want to get our video that we made on our phone and put that in there. All right, so the way to do that is to add a file. And where am I? I'm just going to pick a file that that Kel did a few weeks ago. So that's the raw file that came off her phone. And now it's going to place, because that's already in a 16:9. And when you do your videos, you should do them in 16:9. Don't do them in portrait, because that makes it difficult to edit into the format that the Gaz guys have been training us to do. So now that you can see what that looks like, you want to drag that down into the timeline so we can start editing that. All right, so now you can see that the white background is there with the video in the center. And you'll notice that white background. Remember how I said, like, this goes for about 1:20, this video. And remember I said that the black background will only go, or the white background will only go for 3 seconds if you just don't do anything with it. When you're over here, the background, there's no background, see, so it just defaults to black. So if you want to change that, you just take your cursor down here and just drag it all the way to the end of the clip. And so now you've got a white background, all the way to the end. So while you do that, it's always a good idea to make sure you edit your video first. So, excuse my printer going off in the background there. You want to edit your video first. So if there's, because we're going to send this off to Rev to get captioned once we've done the video, because we want to save time, and it takes a long time to caption your own videos. So I just want to show you how to do an edit. So if you want to zoom in on, say, this 10 seconds here, you just move this down here. So this whole line is just 2 seconds now. So I want to take that back a bit. So now I can zoom into this 10-second area, and I just want to see if there's anything I need to cut. So Kel's, you can see her hand going back where she's hit the record button on the phone, and she did do a little, so you can slowly take that back to there. You can even zoom in a little bit more if you want to. I know it's only a split second, so it's not a major issue. But if you go down here and then click on that spot, you get a little scissors right there, and you cut that. So that puts a split between the video, the blank, all that is split now. So what you can do is you can just click on that bit, press delete, that removes that. You press delete, make sure you press delete on that bit, and that removes that. So that's all split now. Now with Kelly, all right, so with Kel's videos, Kel is more comfortable using a teleprompter piece of software, which you can get for iPhone, but you can't get for Android phones. So, which is okay, because I've got an Android phone, and I tend to waffle a bit more and free flow a bit better, as opposed to now. But Kel likes to use teleprompter, so that's a really cool piece of software. Look it up, and you can change the speed and where it gets you to look on your phone to read the teleprompt makes you look right at the camera. So it's a really good piece of software. So the next thing I usually do when it comes to the video side of it is I usually go to the end, because I want to see if there's anything at the end that I need to cut. All right. All right, so there's a few seconds there where she has finished the video, which needs to be cut. So when I scroll to different points, I'm just taking my cursor to here, I'm just clicking, and then I'm hitting the space bar to run that. Now I'll just point out, there's lots of different things here, and it may seem pretty complicated when you're first doing it, but after you're in the habit of doing this, it's actually mega easy. So at the moment, I'm looking at a sequence preview. So if I want to just have a look at just that clip, you go to clip preview, so you can see that's just the single layer without it all together. Sequence preview puts all the layers together, and you can see it all. All right, so I'm just going to cut this bit. All right, so I want to cut it there. So I'm just going to, I've hit the space bar to stop it at the right point. And I've got that in the center. So I'm left clicking there, cutting that, and then deleting those bits that I've split off from the main video. So now that's, and because she's using teleprompter, I'm pretty confident that she hasn't made any mistakes in the middle that I need to cut. Often when I am doing videos, I'll stop in the middle if I've made a mistake, and I will start. I'll sort of go back a couple of sentences and start again. So I need to look for that, and I need to cut bits in the middle. But that's pretty straightforward. Once you know how to cut things, it's pretty easy. Now, one thing that we've been trained by Matthew Jang and I can't remember the other guy who's doing a lot of the 1 minute video training. What's his name? Can't remember. It'll come to me. Is that they have been increasing the size of the video in here so that it's about that big. All right, so it's not a landscape. It's actually a little bit bigger. So it takes up more, because that's what you want. You want your video to take up as much of the page or as much of your post as you can. Because what I have noticed, that if the text is too big, or it's too bold, or the subtitles are too big, or your timeline thingamy, I still can't remember what it's called, is running along here and it's too big, I have noticed that Facebook ads will pick up that there's too much text, and they won't show it to as many people. So you want to try and minimize the text, not make it so bold, but you want to make the picture as big as you can without it taking away from the important text that you want people to see, because obviously you want to see people to see the captions. So to make that picture bigger on VideoPad, you click on FX. So FX is here, and there's heaps and heaps of different video effects, and I had to play with all these to work out which one to use, but here's one I did earlier, so to speak. So these are all the different video effects you can use, but the one we use to make the video bigger is scale. All right, see how when you roll over it, it makes the video enlarge like that. All right, so, and I found that somewhere between 1.3, 4, or 5, usually 1.3 or 4 I'll go, so it usually goes up by here. So the horizontal ratio and vertical ratio, if you're going to maintain the you want that check down there, so that maintains the aspect ratio, it doesn't stretch it out of shape. So the horizontal and vertical are going to keep going when you just click up. I'll go 1.4 here and see what it looks like. All right, so I've made it 1.4. Let's see what it looks like in the sequence. There you go. So you can see that the picture's a little bit bigger. So that's why you want to make sure when you're doing a video in landscape, make sure that you're in the center or as close to the center as you can be, because when you expand, you're going to lose your edges. All right, so you want to make sure you're in the center, but I think that's a pretty good size. So the next thing I usually do is I usually put my little red line, a little animated red line that goes across as a timer that shows the viewer how much time you've basically got to go. And I usually put that in red, but you can put that in any color that you like. And that is not a video effect, would you believe? They talk about in the training keyframes, but on this video, there is no real keyframe. I think you can put keyframes in, but there's a text effect that makes it so simple, and I'll just show you how to do that. So you get text effects, you put in a horizontal line. There you go, horizontal line. That's pretty easy, isn't it? So down here you can deal with the width. Usually if I want to do line color, I've already got my red in there, which I've been using, so I'm going to do that. All right, now down here there's an animation duration, right, and clip duration, which you can edit. All right, so I'll show you, if I don't do anything to that, I'll show you what it looks like. You can probably start to see what this is going to look like. If I start the clip here and go to sequence preview, this is what happens. Okay, so it's a 3-second clip now, and the red line has gone through the center. So we want to change that. So the first thing you want to do to make it go all the way across is to drag that all the way across. But if you, I think it's double click, yeah. Double click there, you can see that the clip duration of the red line is 1 minute 18 seconds 702. The animation duration is still 3 seconds like it was originally. So what we want to do is make that exactly the same. And you just click in there and change the figures to exactly the same as what's underneath. Now that's going to animate and go for the entire length of the clip. All right. So if you click up here, it's going to be further across. It's almost finished. All right. But we don't want it in the center. We want it down the bottom. Or I've noticed some people are putting them here, but I do both. So for this purpose, I'll put it at the bottom. And you need to just have a little play with your settings, because the line width, I usually go for about 4.5. So there's my line. And the vertical offset, see how it's 50 at the moment? So that obviously that's halfway, 50% halfway. So if we want to get it down to here, I've usually found that I take it to 98, maybe even 97 because of the thickness. What about 97.5? There you go, that looks perfect. because it's white, it doesn't really matter anyway. If it's out just a notch, it'll blend in with your Facebook page anyway, if that's where you're going to put it. So that's right. So that's that layer done. So I'll check it again. So that's starting to go. I still can't even think what it's called. A red line thingamy. Progress bar, that's it. The progress bar. Yes, I remembered what it's called. Okay, so just to recap, we've got 3 layers. We've got the white background. We've got the video, which I've adjusted through VideoFX. And we've got the red progress bar, which you put in via text effects. All right. So the next thing we need to do is to put the title in there. So there we go, add title. And I just put in a basic, I don't even want to do that. I just do a simple text. So if I go add text, put simple text overlay and just make it quite simple. I use veranda, which is one of the most common ones. So what color is my text going to be? My text is going to be black. That's what I want. So the title of this is the importance of a good morning routine. And I think it was number 4, gratitude. I think that's what we called it. Now that looks like it's not going to fit properly, and I will just check. So if I go to sequence preview, yeah, see how that's not going to fit properly. So we go back to the layer where the text is. It's not lined up. Gonna line it up. What do with it? It's gone. There it is. I'll just stretch that out while I think of it. So remember, usually things when they get put in there like text and text effects and things like that, it gets put in for 3 seconds. So you've got to stretch it all the way out to the length of your clip if that's where it's going to stay. So right click to edit text, and I'm just going to highlight that and take that down to maybe 4, and we'll have a look at that on the sequence preview. Okay, so the title could probably be a bit bigger, the top title. So I'm going to go back to edit text, and I'm going to increase that to, might just increase it to 5 and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's better. So I'm happy with that. So now that's all. I'll go through and check it again normally and just run it through just to make sure it's all okay. So now it should all be okay. Everything should be there except for the subtitles. All right. Okay, so everything's there ready to go. So what you do now is you need to save your project, and you can save it anywhere you like. So for these purposes, I'm going to go test bit 1 and save it there. All right. And the next thing you need to do is you need to export your video, and you want to export it as a video file. All right. So that's where it's going to save to. You can change that location on your computer to anywhere you like. Now see here, this is the important bit. Resolution, auto match content 1920 1080. We don't want that. We want 1030 by 1350. Because I put it in there, it's there to select. All right. And now once you hit create, that's going to start creating. All right. And that'll take, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes to create. But I've already got one of those that I prepared earlier. And I'm going to show you how to put captions on it. All right, so the next thing you want to do is you want to go to rev.com. If you're at Freedom Fest, you would have heard Kerwin Ray talking about that. So I want to cancel that. Cancel export. Thank you. So we'll go and have a look at rev.com and see what that looks like. I'll just minimize myself here. Actually, I might just move myself around. All right, so we want to log in. If you haven't already got an account, just log in there. Now, you want to place a new order. When you first get there, it'll say services. So you don't go transcription because that's going to send you back a text file. You want captions because you want them to send back a subtitle file, which has the extension SRT. That's what you need, okay? So if you do that, click on that, get started. Upload files from your computer. So you upload the file. So for our purposes, I think I had, where do I have it? Here. All right, so I saved this originally as morning routine 4, no subs. All right, so it tells me that there's no subtitles on it. And then you just upload it. Okay, so that's complete, and it will ask you to check out. Because it's more than 1 minute, it's going to charge me $2. So that's $2 US, so that'll be about $2.50, $2.60, something like that. So then you hit checkout, right? And once you do that, you can go to My Files. I won't show it first, but when it's complete, your files will end up in here. All right, you'll get an email as well saying that your files are complete. And when I've got one here. Oh yeah, that's the one, morning routine 4. That's the one that I did. So it goes for 1 minute, 18 seconds. And when you get that, it'll take you back to this page, and you can just click on there and download. And this is the one you want. Subgrip.srt. Just check that box, download it. Download it to wherever you want. I will download it to here. So there you got that. So just for those who may be wondering, Rev does not put your captions on your video. They transcribe it for you and make it subtitle ready. You actually have to physically put the captions on your video, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So that's Rev. Really, really good. Saves you so much time. It's worth every cent doing it. But you do have to check it because sometimes they get a few words wrong, and you can actually manually fix them. So there are 2 ways you can do that. You can either import the complete video and start a new project and insert your subtitles that way, or like I do a lot of the time, I just have my projects open still, and I just use the project that I started with at the beginning, which I'll do now. So the way you put your subtitles in is there's a subtitles shortcut here. Just click on that, and it's going to ask you to, so you can auto generate it, but boy, it comes up with some funny stuff if you auto generate. I've tried that. Or you can actually put your own subtitles in if you've got the time. You can do that. But if you load the subtitles, oh, it keeps taking me back to that folder. Sorry. So there you go. You want the extension SRT. So there you go. So it's loaded 30 subtitles. So it's 30 lines there. All right. Now, see how it defaults to this size? It's pretty big. I think the default size is for a 16:9 screen. We want to change that. All right. So to do that, we go to Format. Click on the Format tab. Now, the way you don't want Facebook to pick you up on having too much text. So I usually uncheck this box where it says show outline, because it makes it a little less bold, so a little less, draws a little less attention for Facebook's algorithm or bot, or however they look at their sizes, or however they look at their text, I should say. I was looking at that word there, went into my head. So it defaults at 14. So I usually find that when stuff comes back from Rev, if I'm using this format, size 4 is probably the best. You can go size 5, but usually you have to go and do some editing to the line because it goes wider than your video there. So size 4 will usually keep you in line. But see how it's way down the bottom? You want to move that up. So you want to move the vertical margin up to about 7. We'll see how that works. So this is the point where you just check to see. So I usually wait until there's 2 lines, because it's the 2 lines that you want to be in the center. Well, I do anyway. You don't have to. You can move it up even one more if you want to, say to 8. Yeah, you could put it up there. I don't think that would detract from the symmetry of that, because that gratitude's quite close to the video, so I don't think that matters. But the vertical margin, that's how you get your text to go up. So you can go 5 and make that even bigger, which is what I've started to do, but you have to go in usually. Whoops. You usually have to go in and edit your text. Right, so usually I go to text and just make sure that everything's okay. So I'll go back to the beginning and just go through every line up here. If you don't want to play it, you can just, I'm just arrowing down just to check every line. Yeah, so see how that 5 makes that line a bit, doesn't sit properly on the page. So usually I just go down to here, put the cursor in there and hit enter, and that'll make it like that. All right, so if you do that for every line that you're not happy with, there's another line that needs fixing. All right, so if you're happy with that at the end, so you just go apply, and now if you go to sequence preview, your subtitles will be in there. All right. So now all you do is you export your video once again into a video file, and I usually go vid file with subs, or I leave it blank because I usually put no subs next to the ones, and you just double check this resolution again, make sure that's okay, and then you hit create, and that's going to create that video for you. So have I got the finished product in here? Usually when it finishes, morning routine. Can't find it. Can't see it. All right. Anyway, I usually just check. See, I've got a video there with no subs and then just the title. So that just tells me that it does have subs on it. So I'll usually go back and check. It's well known that a consistent to ensure that get these books. Our mission to help you become the best version of yourself. So yeah, I'll go through and check that and make sure that's all okay. And then just save your project again, right? And you're good to go. So I hope that didn't go on too long for you and it's not too complicated. But once you get used to it, and if you've got a fast computer, because I use an older computer, I started using an older computer and it was really slow. But if you use a pretty fast computer, it's really, really good. It goes quickly. So I hope that helps. I just wanted to give something back for those who are so generous in coming up to Kel and I and saying how good our videos were. Really appreciate your feedback, and just wanted to give you something back if I possibly could. So if that gives you some value, awesome, and we can all go and crush this together. Thanks, guys.